I'm Chance.
And I'm Sarah Catherine.
And this is Conservation Connection.
Presented by Last Chance Endeavors.
We are a husband and wife team running a wildlife education nonprofit. It's focused on connecting students to their environment.
Each week, here on Conservation Connection, we do just that by introducing you to the groundbreaking science and conservation work that's happening every day across the globe.
We talk to professionals in the world of conservation science and wildlife management, and we ask them about their career,
their current projects,
their wild and crazy stories from the field,
and everything in between.
This episode is a collaboration with EarthX here in Dallas, Texas.
EarthX is the largest Earth Day celebration in the world, and it brings in speakers from every corner of the environmental arena.
Listen in to hear the stories of today's environmental titans, covering everything from environmental law, ocean health, renewable energy, clean transportation, and so much more.
Let's get to the show.
Today, we are incredibly excited to be sitting down with the Inland Ocean Coalition team. So we've got two people sitting here in front of us. I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves and tell me what your title is.
My name is Vicki Nichols Goldstein, and I am the founder and the director of the Inland Ocean Coalition.
Great to have you.
Thank you.
I'm Taylor Shedd, and I'm the Ocean Policy Manager at the Inland Ocean Coalition.
Awesome. Thank you for being here today, guys.
So, Inland Ocean Coalition. Inland kind of means no ocean. So talk to me about how you have inland ocean as something that you're working to protect.
Well, the idea is very simple. You don't have to see the ocean to protect it. And that is the basis of the entire effort and organization. It really is a movement to get people thinking about ocean issues, ocean policies, plastic pollution, sustainable fisheries, even if you don't get to see the ocean. We're all impacted by the ocean, we all affect the ocean, and we can all make positive contributions to the ocean.
And what led you to starting Inland Ocean Coalition?
Well, it's a little bit of a journey. I am an ocean junkie and have loved the ocean all of my life. I've spent my education and graduate education and learning about the ocean. Have worked professionally in ocean conservation, East Coast, West Coast. And the guy that I fell in love with in graduate school asked me to marry him. Then we had 2 children, and then he got a job in Colorado. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's an ocean gal to do in the middle of the country? So I started the Colorado Ocean Coalition up in 2011 with the idea that you don't have to see the ocean to protect it. And I'd searched around for about a year prior to that, thinking I would just join an organization that had this land to sea connection. Well, of course, it made complete sense to me, being a coastal person, that the ocean is so important to all of us. People must get it in Colorado. And I couldn't find an organization, so I had to start my own.
That was kind of like us with Last Chance Endeavors and Conservation Connection. We were like, well, we don't really feel like there's anyone doing this yet, so let's just start it. So I completely get where you're coming from.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And as both of us are very much coastal people, we've lived in the Florida Keys. Sarah Catherine has worked in Hawaii. And coming from a place like the Keys, where we lived for several years, you're living on a spit of land that's about 2 football fields wide and ocean everywhere else. In a place like that, of course you care about the ocean because you see it every day. It is part of your life. Your life is determined by what's happening on the ocean. I love the fact that you took that same passion, that same love that you had coming from the coast and seeing it every day, and you're sharing that with people who would never have the opportunity to even think about it. They would just never pause to think that their day-to-day choices have a big impact on the ocean, or even if they do have an impact on the ocean, that there's any reason for them to care, because the ocean, if you're inland, doesn't impact you. But the truth is that it really, really does.
Absolutely. And what was really neat is after we started it, because I really tried to be very inclusive from the very beginning, we started doing fun things. We started with blue drinks, a monthly social where we would get the divers together with the scientists, with the teachers, and talk ocean. And then that evolved into events. It evolved into events, and it evolved into showing of films and then panel discussions. And probably the most important thing, getting to know your legislative leader. So we would go back to Washington, D.C. and make trips to visit our senators and House reps, and started inviting other people. And so people from other inland communities started joining us. And then they started forming chapters with our guidance. And we started to get a number of other Inland Ocean Coalition chapters. Then in 2017, after getting lots of grumbles that different states did not want to come under Colorado, we rebranded to the Inland Ocean Coalition.
I love it. Now, talking a little bit about DC and policy management, Taylor, that's kind of what you do with the Inland Ocean Coalition, right? You're the ocean policy manager. So can you give me just a little bit of what the day-to-day work is like for you?
Yeah, so we just try to keep a pulse on what's going on with the oceans that's happening in DC with different legislation at the state level and also at the national level. And we just try to keep a beat of what's going on and share it with everyone in our inland states and our chapters so that they really know what's happening. And there are a lot of key representatives who are actually from inland states that are on ocean policy committees, are on fisheries committees, are on environmental committees. And they have to be informed and know about this issue that they're working on in the Senate or in the House. And, you know, they have constituents that care about it, but they don't hear from them a lot because, again, it's inland. So, you know, I keep a pulse on that. And then we work with our chapters and kind of let them know when there's action items that they can give public comment to, or just kind of education in general about what's going on at the national level for everyone.
So your job is basically to just know what the scoop is on what's happening in regards to legislation and other lawmakings that are happening that affect the ocean.
Yeah, and whittle it down so that people can actually understand it and know what is really happening and what it actually means, not some, you know, super legal jargon, and, you know, make sure that it's actually backed by science and it is going to do what it's supposed to do, whether it's good or if it's a negative thing that we don't want. So.
Now, the Inland Ocean Coalition is basically like the main part of EarthX Ocean this year, correct?
It is.
Which is amazing. So I would love to hear more about why is it important for y'all to be at EarthX and be such a huge part of EarthX Ocean this year?
Well, EarthX is the largest Earth Day event in the world. And so it is quite fitting that you get the largest Inland Ocean Coalition to participate in that event.
Yes.
And we are also very interested in establishing new chapters because the idea, as Taylor said, if you have people on the ground doing fun things in their community around oceans, you're developing a constituency, you're communicating that with your legislative leaders, you really want to get more people involved. So this is an opportunity to share our message and to invite others to join us.
Speaking of inviting others to join you, if somebody listening right now who is in an inland location in the United States wanted to get involved and there wasn't an Inland Coalition chapter already in their area, how might they go about getting involved with the Inland Ocean Coalition?
It is very easy, and that's what we try to do. We try to make it easy and accessible. So on our website, you can go right to the link that says how to start your own chapter. And we have a handbook that guides you, and then we have staff that will help hold your hand to get you set up. And then we try to link you up with some other members in your community or in your region, and it begins to blossom. And once a person has a passion, that's really all it takes to take that passion, that interest, and that excitement and say, hey, I want to start a chapter. And then we'll say, wonderful. What do you want to do? And then we'll start to brainstorm. They often will have ideas ahead of time. And it's kind of a baby step. Let's do one event. Other people find out about it. Then they start sharing. And before you know it, you've got yourself an Inland Ocean Coalition chapter.
Absolutely. So we're going to put a link to your website in our show notes so that anybody listening right now, if you are sitting in the middle of Kansas and you really care about ocean issues, scroll down, check out that link, see how you guys can take action to help protect the ocean regardless of where you are.
That sounds fantastic.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys so much. It's been great.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Oh, we will.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Conservation Connection.
If you enjoyed our podcast, go ahead and subscribe to make sure you catch every episode that we post.
We would love to hear from you. So, if you want to reach out, go to our website, lastchanceendeavors.com/contact and shoot us an email.
We love questions from our listeners, so if you heard something that you want to know more about, be sure to let us know.
We'll post bonus content that addresses your questions and gives you a little more information.
A big thanks to EarthX for hosting us, and a big thanks to you for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week.